Welcome back for our final session. During this session, and again, we still have Pete with us, and we're still talking about grief share. Now, for this session, I'm going to let Pete talk about it, but we're going to be covering things like the topics that they cover during grief share, and some of the comments that people are making in their own words. But Pete's going to go through this and explain exactly what it is they're trying to accomplish. This is so important and so crucial to getting on with our lives, not forgetting our loved ones that we've lost. We're not going to forget them, but they would want us, I know they would, want us not to grieve, but to go on with our lives and remembering them and how precious they were to us. So I'm going to turn it over to Pete at this time. And Pete, go ahead and talk to us about the topics and all the other information that you have.
Okay, well, the topics, there's a different topic for each session. Is this normal? Well, you'll find the feelings that you have are normal feelings. Sometimes you think you're going crazy. You think, oh my gosh, I'll never get over this. Those are all normal feelings. So our video does cover that, and we discuss that. Challenges of your grief, there are many different challenges when you're grieving, and it's not good to isolate yourself. It's fine to be alone in a room where you can pray, but isolation is a taboo. It's a no-no.
Okay.
Many people ask, why? Why did this happen? My son, he was only 8 years old, or my daughter, she was only 13. My wife, we were planning on going on a vacation to the Bahamas this year. Why did this happen now? Mm-hmm. Why? Our video covers that. Guilt. There are people that have lost loved ones to suicide. They have this guilt. They feel responsible. Well, they get angry, but you never know what's going through a person's head. Yeah. If someone is planning on taking their life, there is no way you could possibly stop them. No matter what you'll say, what if I had done this differently, or what if I had treated him or her differently? They wouldn't have done this. Well, it's all explained in our videos by these grief counselors. That's why it's so important to attend these cycles. Mm-hmm. It helps you cope with all of the topics that we're covering. Heaven. We have one video on heaven, which is awe-inspiring. And what do I live for now? Well, there's plenty to live for now.
Yes.
Myself, I'm living right now for grief share. And a lot of people say, well, that's why you're doing it. That's why your wife passed away, so that you would do this. Well, no, that's not it. No. I'm dedicating this to my wife, okay, in her name, but that's not why she passed away, so that I could go ahead and counsel people and minister to people. When it's our time, God takes you, and we don't have a thing. We can't do a thing about it.
That's right. Okay.
But everyone is welcome to attend grief share at any point. Like I say, I had gone into the 4th week and finished up the last 9 weeks, but I've also continued where another cycle to where I picked up the first 4.
Okay.
And it's just you can pick them up at any time. Now, also, I want to mention where we're located, by the way.
Yes. Where are you located?
We're located at Central Valley Baptist Church on 3170 Blagg Road at the corner of Lexus. We have our meetings in the fellowship hall,
Okay.
which is adjacent to the sanctuary.
Okay.
And they are on Saturdays, every Saturday, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay.
The topics, again, are so important. Like I had said previously, these counselors, these grief counselors, have all experienced their losses.
Yeah.
So they've been through being angry. Some are angry at God.
Yeah.
You know, God, why did you do it? Well, we explain all of this.
Okay.
Being stuck in grief, that's a very hard one. I have people that have lost a loved one 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and to hear them talk, you would think that their loved one had just passed away.
Yep.
Within a month or a year. They are definitely stuck in their grief. So many people have a problem putting their loved ones' things away, sorting them out. My wife's closet, she has quite a few clothes in there and shoes, not like Imelda Marcos, but quite a few. But she would want me to donate to Salvation Army,
Okay.
or some organization like that. And there are things that I'm going to keep, though, and it's strictly for my comfort.
Absolutely.
She had quite a few rings and clothing that my daughter is going to take also. Then we have a granddaughter that we can share stuff with. So, but it's very hard for some people. They cannot even go into their loved ones. Say if their son had his own room, they won't even open the door to go in. And you'd have to do that one step at a time. One day, just put it ajar a little bit. And then maybe a week later, you swing it wide open. And there's steps that you take. It's just so difficult. Some people cannot sort their husbands or their spouse, their wife's clothing. Some people just put it in storage. Some put them in these baskets and just store them, put them in the attic or in the basement. All of this is explained in our 13-week sessions. And I'm sure that people out there, people have lost loved ones, have experienced a lot of what I'm talking about. And definitely these sessions will help you. And then we do discuss, after these topics, we do discuss it. We have small groups discussions, and the people get to share their grief, but they're not required to talk.
Okay.
They can listen, and listening sometimes benefits them by others sharing their grief and how they're coping with their grief. The guidelines that we have are also very important. One of the main guidelines is that whatever is said in our grief share room stays in that room.
Okay.
It's strict confidentiality. We do not talk about other people's grief outside of the meeting at all. Another one is we don't want you to come to our meeting looking for a companion, a female companion or a male companion. It's not like that.
Understood. Okay.
We also vet our people. We make sure that strictly sharing their grief. They may have issues in the past that they want to bring up. Doctor malpractice caused my son to die. So-and-so was, my daughter was murdered, and all they want to do is talk about this man that murdered my daughter. Boy, oh boy, and he's got to go to he's got to go to jail. He abused her. We're not counselors. We don't counsel that. The doctor gave my son the wrong medications. I'm going to sue. We don't talk about that either. It's strictly sharing your grief.
That's very good to keep them on focus.
We're not counselors, we're not teachers, and we're not preachers.
Okay.
We facilitate. We probe, we listen, and get the people to talk about their grief and sharing it with others. And it's a huge release for them.
Now we have on here some of it in their own words. Would you cover some of that in the short time we have left?
Well, some of the people call it a safety net when my world was falling apart. The permission I needed to let grief happen. I saw my grief so much more clearly. Mm-hmm. I was able to see I was not alone. You find out you're not crazy. Big turning point in my life.
Very important topics that they're saying here.
I would be a mess if it weren't for Grief Share. It saved my life. Group members quickly became family, which is true. Grief Share has given me hope and the best thing I had ever done for myself. And the group is amazing. It fills my tank every week. I'm a new person ready for the next step in my life.
Pete, I want to thank you again for being here. This is so important, and I hope you'll receive a lot of calls from a lot of people to say how much this has impacted their lives. As we close this, I just want to say be sure to be with us next month. We have some outstanding guests for you again. So thank you for being with us today, and don't forget to be with Nye County next month. Thank you.